All right, welcome to Money Club Mondays, February 7th, 2022. For everybody that wasn't here or that was hopped on last week, we apologize for canceling last minute. I just had a horrible stomach bug that took me all last week to finally get back to myself, but feeling good over the weekend and feeling good today and super excited. We have a special guest on us, a new Private Money Club member, Dr. Duck Vaughn. So many of you guys know Dr. V from our network, and a lot of you have come to us to Money School and Money Multiplier from Dr. V, actually. So it's kind of cool to see the whole full circle. And again, this is what we always talk about. You always hear Chris and I talking about your network equals your net worth. I mean, if it wasn't for meeting Dr. Vaughn, you probably wouldn't have been introduced to things like the infinite banking concept and everything we do with Money School. And if you weren't part of this community, you would have never been introduced to this amazing deal that Dr. V is putting together right now, and we're going to talk about here today. So if you were on the 3-day training a couple weeks ago, Dr. V briefly hopped on. I believe that was on the 3-day, and we talked just kind of briefly about some of the details. He was still putting it together and things like that, but he's made a lot of progress since then, and he's ready to start raising some money for this deal. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So get those questions ready. We'll be sure to answer them all, and we'll spend as much time as we need to right now to go through that. So Dr. V has everything behind him written down. It looks like as he talks, I'm gonna write it down myself as well, just to kind of keep it all organized and keep everybody on the same page. And like always, anybody that wants to invest, we'll connect you with Dr. V either right through the Private Money Club, or we can connect you guys offline as well. We're happy to do an email or text introduction and let you guys hop on with Dr. V and get this deal running for him. So with that being said, Dr. V, how's it going, sir?
I am excellent. How are you?
Obviously, I'm fired up today, right? So,
excited to be here. Yeah. So I'm excited to bring this project to you guys. And just a little bit about me. They call me Dr. V because I really am a doctor. Don't just play one on TV. I'm a surgeon, an MD, and I retired in 2018. So I was a bariatric surgeon. And the funny story about me was, I was a young surgeon. I finished residency in 2005. Never wanted to count on medicine to make my money. So I started buying houses, real estate. And by 2008, I had $4 million worth of real estate, which, as you guys know, that only means you have $4 million worth of debt. So everyone knows what happened in 2008. And then I had a Hurricane Ike wipe me out and I lost everything. I was bankrupt in 2010. And by 2018, I retired from surgery. Not because I had a ton of money, but because I had a lot of passive income that I could retire. And so I'm not a newbie to real estate. I've done a lot of real estate deals. I've owned an RV park in the past. I've owned a mobile home park in the past. I owned a 35-unit apartment complex, beach houses, all that sort of stuff. So I'm super excited about this project. And this project we're calling it Vida Bonita, the beautiful life.
All right.
Vida Bonita Ranch. Yep. So you're getting in on a 170-acre ranch in New Mexico, Chacon, Chacon. But it has a 5,700 square foot house on it that still needs to be completed. I mean, the house structure's up. It's been roughed in, some bedrooms, some bathroom. I got to do the kitchen, finish out the FFE, everything like that. But the cool part about this project is it has riverfront, about 1,200 feet of river. The Moore River runs through it. Great trout fishing. It's got a mountain. It's got a valley. It's got a meadow. It's got forest. It's got wildlife. It's got elk and deer and bears and mountain lions. Oh my.
Wow.
It's super, super cool. And so what I want to do is to develop this into an eco-friendly, upscale glamping site. And the other thing is, if you invest in this project, I will be personally running this and developing this project myself, along with my girlfriend, Erica. This is actually her dream. But if you can envision glamping, it's like upscale bohemian, boho style. You know what I'm talking about? The bright colors, the safari tents, all that sort of stuff. And so here are some basic numbers on it. I think, and this is kind of fluid, obviously, but originally I'm going to say the question I've learned from being in all these masterminds and having mentors is, what's your fastest way to cash flow? So from day one, we'll start clearing tent sites, and tent sites are where people just bring their own tent, and I'll have them a fire pit, some logs to sit on, that sort of stuff. And those in this upscale camping area will be $50 a night. They are currently going for between $25 to $40 a night, and they're pretty booked. So 20 tent sites, I'll get those up and running as quickly as possible. I'll have some along the river. I'll have some along the side of the mountain. I'll have some up in the forest. I'll have some along the meadow, wherever people want to put their tent sites. And then over time, as we get the revenue flowing, I'm going to put in some safari tents or RVs, like retro, hey, Steven, like those retro RVs, like the Airstreams, the silver models, or people are buying old VW bugs. Not bugs, the VW wagons and turning them into campers. Yeah. So I'd probably buy a few of those, and I'm aiming around 10.
And you do classic cars too, so you probably have some connections in that world to kind of do that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, those VW buses especially are real popular around here, like South Florida. Everybody's using those beach cruisers and things. But yeah, those old Airstreams. I mean, those Airstreams, people love those things. There's whole like fairs you can go to with all of them. So that's super cool.
And the cool thing about those is they become assets, the property. Right. So you can resell them later. And then I'll eventually move to tiny homes. And now that's a fixed structure on the property. So you can see how the progression of the development's going. And now you have fixed structure, probably around 5 tiny homes, depending on where we put them. The tent sites are renting for $50 a night. Safari tents and RVs are going for $150 a night. I've compared these to other areas, other campgrounds. And these tiny homes, because they're so chic right now, they're going for about $300 a night. And the projection is $500,000 net profit by year 5. All right. We also have other sources of additional income. We can sell groceries. People forget ice, firewood, matches, sunscreen, bug repellent, firewood, and a fire pit. New Mexico just changed their beer and liquor license law last year. So anybody now can get a beer and liquor license. Got to have some beer when you're camping. You know what I'm saying, Steven?
Yep.
We'll do events like horseback riding. We can rent out 4x4s. During the winter months when people aren't really camping, we'll do hunting tags. So we'll have hunters come in there, and hunting tags go for about $5,000 each. And we can turn the main house into like a hunting lodge. That's one of the ideas. So you can get some hunters in there. Lots of sources of revenue. So I'm wanting to raise a total of $1 million for the project. I am under contract right now. So I have the project under contract. I want to do $1 million total raise. The purchase price is $650. Oh, Steven, can you believe that? Only $650 for 170 acres. Are beautiful, with a 5,700 square foot house already on it. So I already have electricity. I already have a well. I have Wi-Fi. I've got cellular service. I've got a driveway. And then I got to build out the house. So that's why I want the extra amount of money. So I have $350 to do all the tent sites, safaris, tiny homes. I have to build a road and bridge up to the other side where the tiny homes will be. I want to dig out a little beach area on the river. That'll be 8 feet deep. People can jump off the cliff, and put their little lawn chairs and sit on the beach on the river. We want to host family reunions. You could rent out the whole camp if you want for $2,000 a night, minimum 5 days, something like that. That would cover our whole month if we did that. So in estimating the costs, on the high side, the cost to including the note, debt service, insurance, employees, the whole shebang will be about $15,000 a month is the total cost for everything. And I think we'll hit the $15,000 a month mark easily the first year. Yeah. And so this this format gives us acquisition of the property, but it also gives us working capital to build out everything we talked about, partnerships, the tents, everything. And I've got contractors lined up. I've got people who know about ranches, ranch hands. I've done the deed. There are no restrictions on this property. We can totally do this. We can totally dig another well on the other side. And oh yeah, I want to make this eco-friendly. So we'll have solar panels on the house, solar panels around the tent sites and the tiny homes. We'll have rainwater capture, all that sort of stuff. It'll be really, really cool. Trash in, trash out. So whatever you bring in, you got to take out with you. Keeping the land like really pristine. It'll be really high end. Nothing else like it. No competitors around us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, it's rare to see something where you have all that mixture and like a wide open land like that, and somebody's actually controlling it. I mean, even like in I know it's popular though to have those options, like in Disney, for instance, like Fort Wilderness, which I know is nothing the same, but just as an example, they have the tent sites where you can go pitch your own tent. Yep. They have where you can bring an RV. They have the private cabins that you can rent, which are the tiny houses, you know, same type of thing. And, you know, it's different, you know, strokes for different folks, right? So whatever you're into, you can kind of, I mean, $50 a night to be on that kind of property and access to the river and all that, that it has to offer is pretty amazing, really. I mean, so it's 20 tent sites, 10 RV spots. Is there going to be electric and electric hookups for the
so
RV?
I can build out an RV park if I wanted to, and have slots for people to pull up. I'm not sure I want to do that. The cool thing about this property is it's in 2 tracks. So one track, there's area for me to, it's flat. So I have future visions of putting up a convenience store. That would be kind of like the check-in place for people to come check in. They could buy their convenience store. We could open up a laundromat. We could open up a restaurant, bar. There's a lot of future development potential. And behind the convenience store, there's plenty of room to put like a 50 space RV park if I wanted to. But I'm not sure I want an RV park that kind of messes up the pristine view of the cabins and stuff, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yep.
So that's actually called, I think they call it dry camping, where people pull up their RVs but don't hook up and they can just stay the night.
Okay.
So that's an option to revenue the first time. There's a lot of future development. So I'm raising $1 million. I'm offering 12% interest and a 3-year buyout. So 3-year payback. We decided the minimum investment. We've dropped it from 100 down to 50,000. So you can be a part of this project for 50K, have me managing it. I'll be on site every day, developing it, running it, getting it up to cash flow, and making a lot of money for everybody. That's the idea.
And then you were going to give a couple of things like you're going to let people kind of be part of it too, right? Like bring them out and show it to them when you're developing it.
Oh yeah, you'll get, as an investor, you'll get free nights to come and check it out. 5 free nights, I think is what I said initially. Come out, check out the property, see how it's developing. Oh, the other important thing is you'll be in first lien position. That's important. So there's no bank ahead of you. You're in first lien. Proportionate to your investment level. So for example, if I get 10 people who offer me $100,000, they'll all have first lien at 10%, you know, their proportionate share. Not offering equity. This is purely an interest, 12% interest return investment. You're kind of like, you're just the bank. Yeah. Be your own banker, man. It's your hat.
Yeah, I mean, again, so a 3-year deal, you know, this would be perfect if you're just looking to put some money. I mean, the nice thing about, you know, long-term for short-term, right? So we have a lot of short-term flips and things in the private money club at 12%. So you're putting your money in, you're getting your money back with a Chris Rude deal, for example, in typically 3 months, you know, give or take a few days there, but let's say 3 months. And then it might take, you know, you get the money back. And then by the time you get it reinvested into the next deal, it takes about 30 days to get that done. And then you start getting, and then you get it back in 3 months and then you run it out. So at the end of 12 months, you you really only end up earning about 9% or so because of those 3 months of downtime.
That's
so you don't
right.
really get a full 12% return. What's nice about a longer term deal like this is you do have it for 3 full years. So that's 3
Yep.
full years of full 12% full coming in. And are you going to pay interest? Is it monthly or quarterly, or how are you going to do the interest on it?
Yeah, monthly. So if
Okay.
you get, let's say you invest $100,000, that's what you said the other day. It's easy. It's 12%. That's $1,000 a month.
Yeah. No, I love it. I mean, so, if you use a banking policy for that, for example, I mean, you're making the spread, from what you're paying for the policy loan and then what you're making on this deal. If you're using a HELOC for it, same thing, you're making the spread. So it's basically just free money coming in. I mean, let's say that after the spread's $1,000 a month, after the $300 payment, maybe you have $700 a month coming in. I mean, how many people want $700 a month coming in for doing no work, letting Dr. V doing all the work, right? And going out on a cool vacation. Speaking of, what's the closest airport, or how do you get to the site?
It's about an hour and 30 minutes from Santa Fe. Okay. It's about 40 minutes from Taos and Angel Fire. These are world-renowned ski lodges. There's a ski lodge that's 15 miles away. There's a lake that's seven miles away. It is in a great location. In fact, can you share your screen and pull up those pictures?
Yeah, I was going to pull up some pictures next for sure. But sorry, I got distracted there. So from the money side though, yeah, I mean, or even a self-directed IRA. So anybody that's been opening the self-directed IRAs, if you have the real estate package, you're looking at opening the self-directed IRA with the real estate package. It includes private money clubs. So you have full access to Dr. V, everything we're talking about right now to move that money. So take the retirement money, stick it in there, and let it grow for you. I mean, when we look at markets like we're in right now, while I'm pulling this up, I'll talk about this. But when we're in markets like we're in right now, one of the challenges that people have is, well, I don't want to be stuck in an investment if there's a downturn or something like that. But whenever you're analyzing risk and you're analyzing deals, you got to say, okay, if the market drops, what's going to happen? Right. Well, this isn't like a $1 million home that's sitting on, a lake somewhere in some overinflated neighborhood in New York or something like that. Right. It's, this is land. They're not making more land, and people want to be able to get away and go to places. And like you said, Dr. V, there's not a lot out there like this. Right. I mean,
this is an income producing investment. So we have cash flow coming in. That's the key. That picture you have on right now, that's the river. You can see it kind of meandering through the property right there. You want to click on, I'll tell you you want to click on, there's the river. There's something swimming in it. I think that's the beaver.
All right, let me start the house. So this is the house?
That's the house, 3-car garage, 5,700 square feet. It's mostly built out. The pictures of the inside are towards the end. Okay. The outside is completely finished. That is standing up the hillside. That will be a view. For example, a tent site would be right there. There's the river running through the property. The swimming hole will be right around there. And you see the ski lodge, the valley, the trees. It's amazingly beautiful. And the cool thing about this property is it's right off a state highway. And so it's not like hard to find or hard to get to. It'll have good traffic for people to see it, find it, realize there's something happening there. Those are the mountains in the background. It gets snow, great hunting season. We could do Christmas trees. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. So here's the inside of the home. It's roughed out. I need to put in a kitchen. I'm seeing if they have any architectural plans for it. There's a game room area overlooking the main living area. It would make it for an amazing lodge. I think it's currently roughed out, I think, for 6 bedrooms, hon. 6 bedrooms, 4 baths. We could add more. And actually below, there's, it's hard to see, but right next to that wood, there's an actual open space that you could do as either a bunkhouse or meeting area that goes down to the basement.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you guys going to live in this house and kind of use it as the main office to start with, or?
Yeah, so I'm going to do everything out of that main house. I'm literally going to open the garage door and say, hey, what groceries do you need? You want some beer? Here's your check-in. Here's your checkout. And we can get the cash flow going. And I'll probably be spending 2 or 3 weeks there a month, and then coming home until the summer. Then when Mason is out of school, then she and Erica and we'll spend the whole summers up there.
Okay.
So I'm going to be a commuter.
Yeah, it's very cool, man. I could see people doing big events here, like one of Chris's masterminds or something. You could rent it out. I mean,
We could
so
totally
much
have the
possibilities.
mastermind. Yeah, I could put a big tent for hosting parties. I'm going to do a big kitchen build out for that in case you have private chefs and things like that. They need a big kitchen,
Yeah.
couple of ovens, things like that.
All right. So here's the deal. So this is on Private Money Club. So those of you that are members, you can log in and get this information directly, but everything that you'd want to know is on here. And then you can connect with Duck Fee. So we got a couple questions coming in, Dr.
Okay.
Vaughn. While I have the screen up, did you want me to share anything else right now?
So I think somebody was asking what's the town. It's actually the Mora Valley, but the village is called Chacon, Chacon. And it's about, the next kind of biggest town is Las Vegas, New Mexico, the original Las Vegas. It's about 40 minutes from there. That's where Erica grew up. And so, it's not like we're very familiar with the territory, the people, we'll know the sheriff, we'll know the mayor and all that stuff. So it's not like we're going to a blind area not knowing. The last thing I would say is at the end of 3 years, my goal is to buy more of these ranches, prove the concept, right? Get the cash flow going, and then buy another ranch either in New Mexico or somewhere else, or Colorado, that hot area, at Durango, everything's kind of popping. And then, so as an investor, they would have the first right to say, hey, you've paid 12% on time every month. I want you to keep the money and just roll it over into the next deal.
Right. Yeah, no, that's great. And like Chris was talking about, like whenever and we talk about this a lot on money clubs, whenever you evaluate a deal, there's always a few different moving parts. First off, it's obviously the deal itself. Like, let's make sure the deal makes sense. I mean, you're picking up 170 acres with this big, beautiful home, and a lot of it already done for 650. And then the potential you have for, the income coming in and everything you can do with it is just unbelievable. So when you run the numbers, it makes a lot of sense, which is, check number one. And check number two, which in my opinion is equally as important, is who's doing the project. And in this case, yourself, not only with your past experience and, managing other types of, income producing assets like RV parks you mentioned and whatnot, but also just business. Like you have a business mindset from where you are a surgeon and turn that into everything that you do now, and just an overall successful person. Like this isn't your primary thing. Like you do other stuff in life financially that you guys do. And I know you said this is your wife's dream and her, something that you guys have always wanted to do together and kind of living out that dream. So you have the passion behind it too. So you have the experience, you have the passion going. I mean, am I summing that up pretty good?
Yeah, that's really good. And I'd also add, like, I'm coming out of retirement for this. So this will be my main focus, is to develop this and roll this out. It's a great way to give back. Like Erica's dream is to have summer camps for disadvantaged kids who can't afford it. I want to do a nerd camp. I want to do something with wounded warriors for our veterans to come and just say, like, if someone is totally stressed out, dude, come to the campsite. We'll take care of you. It's a great way to give back to our community. Eco-friendly awareness. We can do astronomy tours. We can teach them about the fauna and the flora. There's a lot of way to give back in this model and make money. I mean, and the numbers of the 500,000, like that's like, it's only dependent on how many tent sites we want. Well, we wanted it's 170 acres. There's a ton. I mean, we could take them all the way back into the woods, all sorts of stuff. So how far out do you want to take it? So
no, that's awesome.
Yeah, I want to make sure I was clear about that this is not like a side hustle for me. This is going to be my main, is coming out of retirement party.
All right. No, that's awesome. All in.
So
All right. So a couple of questions. Do you have a plot plan?
We have a survey.
Okay.
And I've walked the property with a ranch manager, and he was like, because originally I was going to do the tent sites on the house side, and he goes, no, do it on the other side of the river, and you have this amazing view. And I was like, it's like, duh. And so we have a very good idea of where the tents and the homes and everything will go, where we need to put the road to go across and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'm sure if you're looking to invest with Dr. V, you guys can talk more in detail about that kind of thing too.
For sure.
we can share it with
Yeah,
you.
and that's the other thing. I only want people who are excited about the project, and who's a good fit for me. I mean, at the end of the day, I am trained to be a surgeon, so I have a little bit, a little bit of an ego, a little bit. I'm tested, but I just want really cool people who want to and make a very good return and do some good in this world.
Yeah. All right. So a couple of people asking about how you're going to handle bodily functions at the campsites and restroom facilities.
Yeah. So we're debating that. There's an area of the house actually that is roughed out for what's that called, baby? That room, the cleaning room, the dirty room where you'll harvest the animals and stuff. And it has a shower and areas like that. We're going to let them use that area and maybe even eventually turn that into where the ranch manager, his private little home. And eventually, and to start off with, we're going to have a friend. We have a friend who has a porta potty business. So we'll probably have a couple of porta potties there. And then eventually we'll move to compostable toilets and rain showers. And the river is refreshing and cold. You can have river baths, all sorts of great stuff. Lots of opportunities. Yeah.
All right.
And if there's an event, like if someone wants to have a wedding reception there, then we'll have our friend bring in several porta potties and deal with that.
All right. Let's see. So some stuff on the actual investment side. What are the timelines looking like for the deal? Like when are you raising the funds? When's the construction start? Okay, so you're raising right now?
Yeah, it's got to go. I think I have to show proof of funds in like 14 days or something. So I got to have the 650 up within 14 days or so. And yeah, so this is an active deal. We're ready. We're ready to go. And it could be 20 people. It could be one person. One person could be like, Doc, take my $1 million. I'm like, let's do it, brother, sister. Let's do it, sister.
Yeah, for sure. When are you going to start construction right away then?
Yeah. So from day one, I'm going to show up when we're funded and we're closed. I'm going to show up with like 3 dudes. We're going to, build out trails, start on the bridge, and do the campsites. I will already have bookings. I know that sounds crazy, but I will already have my Airbnb, VRBO, my website up before I even close. And so we'll know like, hey, we have 10 bookings this weekend. We better have 10 sites up.
Right. Cool. All right. So you're going to start cash flowing right away.
Right away.
All right. So let's see. Keaton say, wonder if there is a way to do deaf and hard of hearing events and make money doing that. I'm hard of hearing, so I'm figuring out a way to pursue entrepreneurship with it.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't see why not, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Hippie camping. Okay. Interested in a piece. Okay. So I've a couple of people saying I think they're going to want to talk with you. So to confirm, this is interest only for 3 years with a principal payout at the end. Yes.
Correct. So to do the math, let's say you put in 100,000, 12% would be 12,000 a year. You get a check for $1,000 a month for 3 years. So at the end of 3 years, you get your 100,000 back, $36,000 worth of interest. So you've turned your 100,000 to 136,000, and you had a couple of nice vacations on the property with me.
All right. Well, questions, guys, put your questions in. What else do you guys have? I know you guys are thinking about this. So can you ask anything on here? Or are you just looking to talk to Dr. Vaughn directly? And while they're putting that in, Dr. V, what's the best way to get a hold of you to start talking about this?
I think messaging me on the Private Money Club, or actually send me a text. I've never actually done this before, so I never give out my cell phone.
I'm looking at
my personal cell phone.
Yeah, most everyone on here is in the Private Money Club, so we should be all right.
Okay. Well, I'll do it anyway. So text me would be the best way. Some people are like, oh my God, the Holters are like, we have a cell phone. 832-607-5444. 5444.
Yeah, if you're giving out your cell phone, you definitely are serious about this project, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go, man. Like, if I don't do it, my girl's gonna kill me. So
that's motivation.
Nothing like
right
fear.
there, folks. That's motivation right there.
832-607-5444. I want to hear some pings right now. Ding, ding, ding. Come on.
So
text
text Dr. Vaughn to connect next to go over that. All right. And then let's see, do you have enough space to hold a really massive event?
Yeah, it's 170 acres. The barn minimum is 5,700 square feet. We can put out a tent. That's one of the ideas too. We're gonna have little chickens, fresh eggs, some goats wandering around. You can have a petting farm, all sorts of stuff. It'll be great. And so if someone wants to do a big event there, you can have your guests stay in the safari tents and the tiny homes. There's something for everybody to stay in. It'll be great.
It's pretty close to the ski resorts too. I like that.
It's very close to ski resort. What's that one called? Sipapoo? The Sipapoo ski resort is 15 miles away. Colin Brown, got it. Awesome. Got a text.
Doctor on site, concert, have a concert, rock and roll.
We could have movie nights, just put projector right on the side of the building, all sorts of stuff we can do. For sure.
Woodstock talk here.
Yeah. And we're talking about maybe doing Christmas tree sales, because no one does Christmas trees up there. You could have a Christmas tree farm, hunting, fishing guides. The horseback riding, I don't want big livestock. So the horseback riding, we would partner. We have several people. We know several people who could lead the horseback rides, who have their own horses. They would just show up. Oh yeah, the trail is already on the property, going through the woods and stuff. Really nice trails, gorgeous.
Is that for horseback? Yeah.
Horseback and also side by side, so 4x4s. We're gonna rent those out too.
Oh, cool. Okay. So
yeah, we rented when we were in Ouray last year, and we rented side by side. It was $400, dude, to rent it for the day. $400. Like shit.
Yes. Yeah, they're a lot of fun though, man. I spent some time out in Moab, Utah, and rent them out there, and some of those trails are just unbelievable. All right, so let me see. Do you see any risks with the project? What kind of risks do you see, or maybe problems do you maybe run into, or people like to hear this? What do you envision possibly that could go wrong? Or
there's really, I've looked at it. There are no restrictions. It's a clean title. And you guys know how hard it is to get Wi-Fi and cellular service in a mountain. So we have Wi-Fi and cellular. So now you have the business professional type who can come, maybe do a little laptop work while they're there. That's super important. Someone asked me, I saw why are they selling? I don't know. My guess is, I think they're going through a divorce. I think they're going through a divorce. New Mexico is weird. Like the real estate brokers don't want you talking to the seller and all sorts of stuff like that. That's all right. It's a smoking deal. What could, I guess a better project could come along and put me out of business, but I don't see that happening.
Right.
I mean, this is amazing. It's beautiful. It's got, the wildlife is crazy up there. It's gorgeous. It's breathtaking views. It's so wonderful. I think the downside would be kind of the winter months. The first winter will be a little bit rough because I'll have to actually, when I was brainstorming this, I'm actually going to work starting day 2 on getting my hunting licenses, my tags, and partnering with some hunting guides and booking out the room for the winter so that we don't have an income drop off during the winter months when people aren't camping because it's too cold. And that's another reason I want the operating capital because I want to put on the tiny homes faster so that way people are more likely to rent during the winter months. Some people want to be in a warm cabin and have snow around them and go outside and go sledding, that sort of stuff.
That's me.
Yeah, but a tent is not cool. But a tiny home would be fine. That's heated with a fireplace, firewood, all that stuff. So I want to get that rolling too.
Yeah, especially if you do the style you're saying with the boho and the eco-friendly and all that. Those little tiny house cabins are awesome.
Oh, writers retreats, artist retreats, all sorts of stuff. You could lead.
Yeah, no, you were talking about you think it might be a divorce, and it's just, you wouldn't imagine how many good deals come out of real estate thanks to divorces. It's crazy. So it wouldn't surprise me at all, and it wouldn't surprise me. That's why you're getting the good deal on this thing. All
The
right.
reason why I think it's a divorce is because I asked them if they would owner finance, and they said no.
Yeah,
They need the money.
yeah.
So I was like, okay. I think that sounds like 50-50 split right there.
Yeah, I mean, being from doing a lot of past real estate deals, I mean, you can see that a lot. It's either a divorce or even they might just, have a different product. Like that's, it's maybe they don't want to be there anymore. Maybe they want to come to
Yeah.
the beach or they're retiring themselves or who knows, but
Yeah.
people have all kinds of reasons for motivations to sell. Right. All right. So Teddy's asking, do you have your build team already? I have a lot of experience with building, specifically with specialty projects like tiny homes, set design, stage design, and build. I'm interested in talking with you about getting involved on the building end. Just so you know, Dr. V, Teddy is one of our mastermind students. He was at the experience in Buffalo. I don't think he can make the one in Utah, unfortunately, or else he'd meet you there. But he's coming to the one in the fall too. So, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I have, like I said, my friend who's the ranch manager. It turns out that the sheriff in that town actually owns a construction company. So he's going to be the one putting the roads and the bridges and stuff. And then I do have a architect friend who's also a builder, and he's going to build the platforms. And my neighbor here in Houston down the street builds $3 million spec homes. And he goes, I know a tiny home guy. I got a guy who can do your tiny homes for you. I was like, sweet. So it's all coming together. We got lots of friends who are hunter guides, fisherman guides, horseback people. We got all of that in place.
I love the comments coming in. So we have Wilderness Adventure Week teaching primitive survival skills. I used
to do that. There's
really
actually a medical. They do that for doctors and nurses. It's the coolest retreat. Like you learn to, how to set a bone if someone falls off a cliff and stuff like that. Totally.
Yeah. See, somebody said, I'm an artist. I'll bring friends to the retreat. Somebody said, can I be a greeter? Sign me up for some hunting, survival camping.
That's us. We'll have a social hour. How do you spread the word? We have a social hour. Dr. V loves to grill. I'll be doing little tomahawk steaks, slices, have a glass of wine, a beer. The first beer is free on me. All that sort of like hosting part, that extra special touch, that makes people want to talk about you and come back.
And you got the Wi-Fi, so you got the social media skills.
Church retreats. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I think from my tribe alone, my following alone, we'll be booked out all summer. Mm-hmm. If all I just did was like, hey, come book us out, check this out. I promise you.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. All right. So Keaton's asking, I think this is a great opportunity. I'm in college right now, but I'm not happy with the thought of working 9 to 5 for someone. So I currently don't have a job and don't know how I start to do real estate when I know nothing about it. Could I text you to discuss this? I know Keaton, Dr. V is running this. I mean, I can connect you with some guys that can definitely help you get started in real estate investing and just kind of, but just follow Dr. V, like follow him along with his journey. Watch how he's doing it. Watch how he's coming on and talking about raising money and what he's planning on doing with it. And just follow successful people and start implementing what they're doing. And eventually you'll be following those same footsteps. So, maybe it's not a good fit to partner on this specific deal, but nothing wrong with watching and observing.
Right. David from Colorado, in for 100. Let's do this, baby. Thank you, David. Dylan from Alaska. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So I started the same way. I flipped my first house when I was in residency, when I should have been learning how to do surgery. I flipped a beach house and made more money on that one flip than my entire salary as a resident. And I was hooked. And my dad, my dad and I are Vietnamese refugees. We're the boat people. I came over when I was little. I was 6 years old. My dad was 36. Didn't know anybody. Couldn't speak the language. My dad was 36. 16 years later, he retired independently wealthy because he had this idea. He would buy a house. He would rent it out for $800. He would pay the bank $500 and keep $300 for himself. That was his formula. And so real estate has been in my blood since I was a little boy. And then when I grew up, I started just like that, just a little house. I bought a $25,000 house on a credit card. I've done all that shit.
Awesome.
So this is really more the maturation of Dr. V. Like I'm growing up. This is a real business. This is a cash flow business. And honestly, if you want to put a word on this, Vida Bonita, it's a legacy play. It's a legacy play. We're going to talk about improving our communities, giving back to our people, taking care of people, all that sort of stuff. So it goes like the mind shift is like, I'm just going to flip a house and make money, to like, hey, I'm going to help the whole world. We're going to really change this industry. We're going to make, the millennial, Erica's a millennial, like the millennials, like give them something to be proud of. You know what I mean? Yeah. With my years of wisdom.
I love it, man. I love it. Back to just kind of an investor question. How will the title be held, and will the investor be named on the insurance?
Those are details I need to work out with your team, Stephen. I will have the property actually held in a business LLC. Yeah. And that's how the title will be held. I guess it'll be just like anything else where you have a mortgage and just your typical loan documents.
Yeah. So just like any other deal that we've talked about on private money clubs, you're going to have the property as the collateral, and then we'll have the mortgage and the promissory note with all the terms and everything on it, which will state, however much your investment was being paid 12% annual interest for 3 years with the balloon repayment of your initial investment at the end of the 3 years. Right. Interest paid monthly. So that'll be all in the promissory note. The mortgage will, be connected to that. And the mortgage will state that you're in a first lien position proportional to the amount, meaning if you invested $100,000, it's a total of $1 million mortgage. So if you invested 100,000, you'd have 10% of that first lien position or whatever that comes out to be. So that's how that would be designed. And the insurance question is just simply a matter of when you insure the property, Dr. V, you'll just make sure that the mortgage and the promissory note is listed as additional insured on the property. So then if the home burnt down or something happened, that, the investors would be covered as well. So that's all. It's just common stuff right there. So yeah. And Chris is kind of, attorneys are creating all this obviously, but Chris is kind of over, working with Dr. V a little bit on it and making sure it's all done right. And you guys know, Chris is going to make sure it's set up properly for everybody involved.
Right. Chris is one of my really, really good friends, one of my best friends. Jill Miller, thank you for your text. She's in. All right. Rock and rolling now. Awesome.
All right.
And in case some people are wondering, like, yeah, let me tell them a little bit about this too. I know Erica's Why New Mexico. Well, this is like Erica's hometown. This is where she grew up. But also, before I retired, I was director of bariatrics in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is about 2 hours away from the property. And so I still have all my connections in Albuquerque in terms of retreats, team members. Hey, I could reach out to my hospital CEO and be like, have a corporate retreat up here at this property, all that stuff. My drug reps, product reps, I'll reach out to all of them and I'll like, hey, dude, bring your doctors up here for dinner, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, there's so many possibilities, so many things you can do. I mean, you have 170 acres. I just want to tear it up on a side-by-side and explore. No, that's awesome. All right. Any other questions coming in? Put your text in there one more time. Lots of good connections in Albuquerque. Yeah, Claudia, you should definitely connect with Dr. V. I mean, I think that you'd be perfect. And I know we just spoke and you're looking at doing some investing also. So
just send me a text, 832-607-5444, or message me on the Private Money Club.
Yeah, David, a lot of fun. Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. And that's what, you can hear behind his voice when he's talking about it. This is a dream. And when you have passion in something and you really want to do it, I mean, it's just going to make it that much more fun to be able to, enjoy it.
Yeah. And I'm all about money karma. I'm not going to gyp anybody. I'm not going to run off with your money. This is a legacy play.
All right, cool. So just to kind of recap one more time, I saw quite a few people jump on a little bit, kind of like halfway through. So this is Dr. Duck Vaughn with a new project for the Private Money Club that he's raising $1 million for right now. Minimum investment is $50,000. It's 12% annual interest paid monthly for 3 years, 36 months, return of premium at the end of the 36 months. So pretty straight deal as far as that goes. What it is a 170-acre ranch in New Mexico called Vida Bonita. And this has an existing home on property already, 5,700 square feet. That's going to be used as base operations to get things started. He's putting in 20 tent sites to start, 10 safari sites slash RVs that will be there on property that people can rent. And then he's going to build 5 tiny homes in phase 1 of this project. There's a river that runs through the entire thing. There's trails that run through the entire property for side-by-sides, horseback riding. There's going to be hunting tags available that can range up to $5,000 per tag that he'll be charging for that. There's 0 restrictions on this land. So basically it's an artist's blank canvas, what he can do with it. He has so many options. And as you've been seeing in the comments, a lot of different ideas coming through, and it sounds like they are open and wanting to do a lot of these ideas too, which sounds like a lot of fun. Dr. V, if you guys don't know him, was a surgeon, and he is also somewhat of an influencer, I guess you could say, on social media. So a huge following, has a lot of influence out there. So very good at social media. So we were talking earlier, just with his tribe alone, he'll sell this thing out the entire year. But as he's out there, and there's Wi-Fi, there's electric ran, like well on property already. So this thing's ready to roll. So they can go out there and start doing live streams as the tent sites get developed, as they put in the roads, as they start to build it out. And that's just going to draw more and more attention. Very close to world-class ski resorts in New Mexico, right off of a highway. So it's very easy to get to and travel to. So I'm trying to find something wrong with it, Dr. V, but I can't find anything yet.
Aerial view on it.
Yeah, we have aerial pictures in the survey, but I couldn't upload them onto the thing, but I can send that to you. I can text it to anybody. But the cool thing about this property, and I looked at a lot of ranches, this is actually 170 acres of usable land. Like some mountains are like so steep, like you can't use it. I looked at one property, I'm like, dude, this is like a 50-degree incline. It's rocky cliffs. This is a nice gentle slope. It goes up, you know, a good distance. It's full of trees. It's a real thick forest, lots of wildlife and animal trails already done. It's awesome. Awesome.
And then in the closing, it's under contract. So you should be closing, you said, in just a couple of weeks, right?
I have to show proof of funds in a couple of weeks. And then I think we're going to close in, we went back and forth like 4 or 5 times. So I don't know if the closing was moved. I want to say 50 to 60 days.
Okay.
For the due diligence period.
Okay, perfect. So you'll be looking to start raising the money right now.
Today. Yeah.
As soon as you close, put everything in place. All right. All right, cool. So I don't know, any last words, Dr. V? I think we covered a lot of really good information here.
No, I'm super excited. I'm all about building relationships. So, you know, I want to do another ranch, another ranch, another ranch. And I just want to make everyone a lot of money, have an experience, learn stuff, grow together, make money together. It'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. Low stress. I'm easy to get along with. Despite what Erica will say, I am very easygoing.
Yeah, I mean, and after the end of the 3 years, if, you know, things are rocking and rolling and you're ready to, you know, add on or create things that over the 3 years you learned about, then you can roll maybe right into the next investment with Dr. V.
Yeah, yeah. And it could be 2 years. If the books look really good and the cash flow is all there, I'll do conventional financing, cash people out, move on to the next project and keep going.
All right. Contact. Yeah, Sarah, I put in the text message. You want to zoom in on it one more time, Dr. V?
832-607-5444.
There we go. And he is in the private money club and also all over social media. So I'm sure you guys could reach out that way, but he doesn't usually give out his cell phone number like that for texting. So make sure you write it down before it evaporates.
Please, yeah. And please be considerate.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, I don't see anything else coming in. So thanks so much, Dr. V, for hopping on. You know, if anybody has any additional questions, just reach out to them and we'll bring you back on. I would say probably in the next week or two. I want to hear, you know, how much you've raised so far, how much we got to go, any new information, any new stuff coming out with the deal, any new ideas, things like that. We can kind of run through it one more time in a couple of weeks. But all right, guys. Well, thanks for being here on Money Club Mondays. Dr. V, take it home.
All right, man. I'm super excited to meet and get to know every single one of y'all, even if you don't want to invest in my deal. Super excited for Chris and all your success, Stephen, and you guys. You're really building a great, amazing community. And just congratulations. I'm super excited to be a part of this.
Yeah, thank you, good sir. Yeah, and again, Dr. V is in the Private Money Club, so see you guys on there. And Dr. V, I will see you in about 5 weeks. It's coming fast out in Sundance, Utah, sold out event. So I'm super pumped for that. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So, all right, thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. See you guys next week.